Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and welcome to my how to get free platinum or how to earn free platinum in 2018 video. So the word earn is in there because you actually have to do some stuff to get free platinum, and whenever I say free platinum, I mean you don't have to pay real money for it. Obviously, there's going to be a trade-off somewhere in the game at the very least, or to your time, that you're going to have to give up in order to get the platinum without actually paying any money. I think that the mindset that you can just get something for free is a very dumb mindset, because you're always going to have to give something up to get the other thing. So I don't know, if you clicked in this video expecting free platinum to just be handed to you in some way, shape, or form, join the real world, please. I don't that's all I can really say, but you know, you have to actually give something up. But basically, in this video, I'm going to be going over all the different ways that you can earn platinum in-game without having to spend any money. So I'm going to be talking about this from a beginner player standpoint, and I'm also going to be talking about players who can, you know, basically like farm up prime sets and, you know, Riven mods and stuff like that, and give you guys like links and stuff to some valuable resources, which will be linked in the description below, to where you can check prices and things like that whenever it comes to like Rivens and just your prime sets in general, so you can sell them off to other players in trade chat, or using these websites and stuff to kind of like, you know, make connections with people and sort of start a trade. So basically, we're going to go from the beginning player standpoint to begin with, because most people who are looking up videos about free platinum are usually new to the game because they don't know how trading works. So basically how trading works is Warframe, or in Warframe, is there's multiple ways to sort of like start a trade with a player. So to begin with, you have to actually go to your clan's dojo. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into my clan's dojo real quick. And in the clan dojo, we're going to see a trading post. And this is just something, it's under the decorations category, which you can place in your dojo. And you walk up to it, you press X or whatever your interaction button is, and then you can basically choose from a list of players that are in the dojo to start a trade with, right? And then in there you can, you know, add a certain amount of platinum that you might have, or you can add in a mod, or, you know, like a prime set or whatever. So let's see if we can start a trade with a random player here. So let's see Christian here, he's got an iFlynn glyph, so I'm gonna give him something nice, I guess, if he responds. So here's Christian right here. And as you can see, I can bring up like this different list of things that I can trade with another player here. So I can trade him a mod, I can trade him a blueprint. So blueprints could be of like any craftable prime item. So if you have any prime gear and you want to trade it to another player, you can do so. We have different things like keys, so like keys, Orc and Dare the Capture keys. We have Law of Retribution raid keys, LV keys, stuff like that. We also have, you know, arcane helmets. If you're a player who's been around for a very long time, like whenever Warframe was first released and you had like an arcane helmet, you can sell those off to other players as well. So just the basis, you know, to sort of show how you can trade. And then there's platinum here as well. So we can go ahead and I'll give Christian a little heart attack here and put in 2,406 platinum. And then, you know, he'd be like, whoa, Flynn, what are you doing? So, yeah, but you can basically like trade anything in the game to other players. So there's a lot of different stuff in here. So, yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell Christian now, sorry, just recording a video about trading. Smiley face. So yeah, I'll stop playing with him now. But this is basically your trading post. This is where you come and you know, do the stuff. So if you're already in a clan, chances are your clan already has this built. But if you're starting a clan from scratch on your own, you're gonna have to go pause the game and head to decorations, place decoration, and then search for this by pressing 1 or whatever the button is on consoles, and then just typing it in and trade post. So trading post, and then this guy's like, will you be in the video? So I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. So there we go. So yeah, that is basically a trade post, and that's how you go about trading with other players. And, you know, initiating a trade, knowing how to initiate a trade is basically like half the battle. So now all you really have to do is get stuff that you can sell to other players for platinum, right? So the starter point for me, at least whenever you're a newer player, whenever you're going through the star chart, you're going to go all the way from Earth to Venus, Mercury, and then all the way back up to Earth, Mars, Ceres, Jupiter. And then whenever you hit about Saturn, this is where you're going to want to start to think about, getting platinum, right? Because once you hit Saturn, you have access to this place up here in the top right called the Derelict, because you're able to get all the crafting components needed for an Orokin Derelict key, right? So if we come off the navigation and we head over to the market over here and we type in Orokin Derelict, so Oroikin, and then we go to Orokin Derelict keys. So you can see all these different keys. Within the Orokin Derelict, within certain missions, so like Orokin Derelict Capture, Orokin Derelict Exterminate, Orokin Derelict Mobile Defense, and Survival, and even Sabotage, I guess. For some reason, I skipped over that key. Within these missions, there is a Corrupted Vault, and basically what a Corrupted Vault is, it's a little vault that can be opened with a Dragon Key. Now, a Dragon Key is something that you have to equip in your gear slot on your Warframe, right? But before we can equip the Dragon Key, we have to craft the Dragon Key. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go back to your dojo. And within your dojo, you're going to want to craft a lab called the Orokin Lab after you craft the Oracle, right? So the Oracle is basically the thing which is going to allow you to craft all your different labs, so your Tenno Lab, Energy Lab, Chemical Lab, and Bio Lab. And our Oracle is all the way at the back of our dojo. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprint or jump all the way back here, basically just to show you what an Oracle looks like, because, I mean, I guess it's kind of worth it, saying is if you're a new player and you maybe want to start a clan yourself, this is the amount of effort that you're going to have to put in. So you want to craft an Oracle, and then you want to craft all these other labs, so Tenno Lab, the ones that I just listed beforehand, and then on top of that, you want to craft the Orokin Lab, which we're going to be going into to get our Dragon Key. So this is the Oracle right here, and this just basically allows you to craft all the different labs. So if we sprint all the way back to the top, because our dojo is just like one big massive line right here, as you can see, so we're not very creative, but we just like to keep it simple so players can understand it whenever they first jump into the game, so they're able to see like, oh, this is just a connector room, and oh, this is a Great Hall, and blah 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 blah, all that stuff. So yeah, moving on. So we're going to the Orokin Lab, which our Orokin Lab is all the way up here into the Loki statue room. So this is the Loki statue room right here, because there's a big statue of Loki, and then we take a right, and within this Orokin Lab, we're able to get our blueprint for our Dragon Keys. Now, you'll notice that there's 4 different Dragon Keys. There's the Bleeding Dragon Key, the Decaying Dragon Key, Extinguished Dragon Key, and the Hobbled Dragon Key. Now, all these different keys have different effects, negative effects on your Warframe. So the Bleeding Dragon Key, what this is going to do is this is going to reduce your max health whenever you have it equipped in your gear slot. The Decaying Dragon Key means it's going to reduce your max shields whenever you have it equipped. Extinguished means you're going to have less power strength, so you're not going to deal as much damage with your Warframe abilities. And then the Hobbled Dragon Key basically means that it slows you down, right? So what you want to do is you want to grab at least one of these blueprints, so one of each of these, and then take it back to your ship. It's reusable, so you don't have to come back in here and then purchase it every time, right? What it takes to craft these is, I believe it takes a few very common resources. I think it's ferrite and void traces. We'll find that in a minute. But it's very cheap to build, at least in my opinion. And you want to have one of each basically like built at all times, right? So let's just go ahead and type in, let's see, Decaying. So it takes ferrite and void traces to basically craft. So 10 void traces and 250 ferrite. Very easy stuff to come by. If you don't know how to get void traces, you want to go ahead and just play a relic mission. So if you don't know what a relic mission is, it's basically this here thing up in the top right hand corner, this little fire thing. You jump in here, you play through this mission, you get void traces, implying you have picked up all the little lemons. It's like a little yellow ball. It's called reactant. You'll understand, but I'm not going to, of course, show that there in this video. There's other videos you can look up about that, like my beginner guide series, for example. But basically, what's going to happen is you're going to get the Orokin Derelict Capture Key from here. So you're going to get this, and you're going to craft it, and then this is going to give you access to the Orokin Derelict in the top right hand corner. So if we go here, we can then jump into an Orokin Derelict mission, right? So jumping into this Orokin Derelict mission, you're going to find that Corrupted Vault that I mentioned earlier, and it's going to take one of those 4 Dragon Keys to open it, right? but you can't have all 4 of those dragon keys equipped at the one time. So you have to bring 4 players. So 1 player has to have the bleeding key, 1 player has to have the hobbled, 1 player has to have the extinguished, and 1 player has to have the decaying. You need to go into the Orc and Derelict capture mission and look for that corrupted vault. Once you find the vault, read on it what it says, and it'll ask for a certain key. Get the player who has that key equipped to go and open it, and then you're going to see this little ball being held by an Excalibur Prime statue. You pick up the little ball. Any player can pick up the ball, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to come out of that mission with a corrupted mod. And a corrupted mod is basically a mod that has 1 positive stat and 1 negative stat, and the values are usually very high. So let's take, for example, Blind Rage, right? Blind Rage is a corrupted mod that gives the player plus 99% ability strength, but minus 55% ability efficiency. So this is good for like a player like a min-maxer, because power strength obviously increases your Warframe's damage whenever it comes to their abilities, or like the effectiveness of their abilities, where, you know, ability efficiency makes them cost more, right? So finding that middle ground and having a bunch of different Blind Rage mods and kind of like leveling them up to different ranks can really be beneficial, because then you're able to find that middle ground as a min-maxer, finding the best sort of like, I want to say middle ground again, but the best solution to maximizing your Warframe's potential, right? So people will always want to be buying these because there's constantly new players coming into the game, and these sell for like a flat rate of about 15 to 30 platinum at a time. So these are always in high demands, but not usually in high supply, because the drop chance for these corrupted mods are 10% per corrupted mod. And I believe there's 26 different corrupted mods, but there's only about 6 or 7 that are really worth it, right? So the other corrupted mods, like things like what's it called? I forget the name of it. Spoiled Strike. You know, it's not the best corrupted mod. It sells for about 5 to 10 platinum. But it's not that good. Whenever you compare that to something like Blind Rage or let's say Fleeting Expertise, those are very good mods. So let's just go ahead, back out, and go into my actual Warframe modding section. Go to upgrade here, and then we'll take a look at all the different corrupted mods that you could possibly equip. So just some off the top of my head, or one that I have on here. Fleeting Expertise, this is a really good one, because you need at least 2 of these, I would say, because it gives you a lot more ability efficiency for a lot less ability duration, right? So it means that you're able to cast your abilities a lot more, but they just don't last as long. So on a frame that has very spammable abilities, like let's say Mag with her pull ability, if you have more ability efficiency, then you're able to spam that ability and keep on ragdolling enemies. Because that ability doesn't like benefit from having any duration, Fleeting Expertise is a really good mod to have. So, you know, selling Fleeting Expertise for about 15 platinum, if you manage to get it, it's a good sell. Blind Rage right here, again, really good mod. Gives you more power strength for less efficiency. Already explained that one. Moving on a little bit, let's see if we can find any more mods. So we have Fleeting Expertise again. We have Narrow-Minded, so you get plus 99% ability duration. So let's say you're playing Loki, you want to be invisible for a long time. Having this on will be very beneficial, because invisibility doesn't benefit from having any ability range, even though some of Loki's other abilities do. You know, having Narrow-Minded, like max rank, or maybe like at a middle point or whatever, having this mod on is, again, very beneficial. So it's a mod that people want to have all the time. Overextended, plus ability range for minus ability strength. Again, there's frames like Loki, for example, who benefit greatly from this because of the radial disarm build. So having a lot of range in that build is really beneficial, where having ability strength isn't really beneficial because his abilities aren't based around dealing damage. So Overextended is a good mod. It also could counteract the negative effects from Narrow-Minded if you wanted to go with like a hybrid build, right? So there's that, and then just scrolling through a little bit more, there is one called Transient Fortitude, which I think we're coming up on. Yep, so here we go. Plus 55% ability strength for minus 27.5% ability duration. So more powerful abilities, but they don't last as long. Up to you, like I said, if you want to use this. This is very beneficial on a frame like Mag, or a frame where you mod for high duration, and then you can throw this on to get a little bit more strength, but just take a little bit out of your duration. So, you know, Banshee, in my opinion, is a good example of that, because we have Transient Fortitude on here, because, I mean, I'm already modding for a lot of duration with Prime Continuity here, so I'm still over 105% ability duration, because, you know, we have Prime Continuity, and I'm not modding with Flynn Expertise or anything. So, you know, it's really down to you how you mod with corrupted mods and stuff like that. But just know that most players are looking for them, and they sell for about 15 to 30 platinum a time. So in the description below, there's a link to Warframe.market. You can go to Warframe.market, type in the name of any of those mods that I just showed you, and then you can see how much they sell for. So of course, prices are going to change all the time because, you know, stuff happens and people will offer different prices, and it depends on the player, what they know about the game and stuff like that. But usually, like I said, these mods go for 15 to 30 platinum. It's just finding a player who, you know, agrees on a price with you and then, you know, does the thing. And you have to be able to message them in game. So if you guys don't know how to message a player in game, go into your in-game chat, type /w space and then their name. So I'm just going to message Deviso. He's probably going to say something offensive because, you know, that's just the friendship me and him have. And I'm going to say, hey, Bam, I'm making a video. We call him Bam because that's his name in Discord. And, what can I say to him? I want to buy, Line Rage off you. Smiley face. There we go. And that's how you start, you know, talking to people in Warframe. So, you know, just knowing their name is, Just knowing their name is enough to sort of start a conversation. So there's that, and that is basically how I would get into trading to begin with. And then once you get into trading, that is that's gonna be enough to sort of get you your slots and stuff like that. So your weapon slots, your Warframe slots, of course. And then once you get into that, and once you have frames and stuff where you're able to do things a lot more efficiently, you're gonna be able to move on to farming prime sets. And prime sets are basically like, you know, the staple, like you know, they sell for a lot, and they also sell for a flat rate over time. And like, let's say for example, Banshee Prime, because I'm playing her right now, selling a full set of Banshee Prime parts would net you about 80 platinum. You know, that's just kind of the standard rate that it's at right now. Of course, again, that may have changed. Look in Warframe.market, just type in Banshee Prime set. And what I mean by Banshee Prime set is, I mean the blueprint, so the Banshee Prime blueprint, the Banshee Prime Neuroptics blueprint, the Banshee Prime Chassis blueprint, and the Banshee Prime Systems blueprint, not the crafted parts. You can't sell the crafted parts. So if you crafted the Neuroptics, you can't sell those. You just have to keep it and then, you know, trade it for ducats or whatever. So, you know, tough shit if you did that. But, you know, selling the blueprints to other players, collecting sets, and then selling it off to players is a good thing to do, right? It's a nice, easy way to get platinum. People will sometimes buy sets low coming up to something like a vaulting. So basically what a vaulting is whenever a prime frame is going to get vaulted. So let's say the next prime frame and prime weapons to get vaulted will be Vauban Prime, the Axtiletto Prime, and the Fragger Prime. So what people will be doing now is they'll be trying to buy Vauban Prime, Axtiletto Prime, and Fragger Prime sets for a low price, and then whenever Vauban Prime, Axtiletto Prime, and Fragger Prime get vaulted, they'll be trying to sell those for a higher price, right? So that will happen within the next 6 months, I want to say, from me uploading this video. So, you know, just, you know, knowing the rotation of when prime frames are going to go out, like whenever the relics are going to go out of rotation, so you can't farm them anymore, is very beneficial, and you're able to see the list on the Warframe wiki. So it's just in order of when the prime frames were released. So whenever Vauban Prime gets vaulted, the frame that was released after Vauban Prime will then be vaulted 6 months after Vauban Prime is vaulted, right? And then another frame is going to be released, and it just keeps on going in a rotation, right? So there's that. And of course, there is also like rare mods and stuff like that. Maiming Strike. So these are event mods, which, I mean, right now, Maiming Strike is selling for a low price because it just recently got reintroduced into the game. But if you hold on to this for a couple of months and then sell it off later, it's going to sell for a lot more. So right now, this mod alone sells for 300 platinum, which is a very low price for it. Used to sell for 800 platinum. But as months go by, the price for this mod will go back up, and then people will be buying it for a higher price again. So, you know, if you get an event mod like this, or I don't know, there's not many event mods in the game anymore because a lot of them came in the Void Traders rotation. The Void Traders, another get it we could talk about because he brings exclusive items around as well. So there's that. But basically, he'll come around and he'll sometimes bring in things like Sweeping Restoration, which used to be event mods. People will buy those, hold on to those for a while, and then sell them off for a higher price again. it just kind of works in that way. So there's that. And then there's also Riven mods. So Riven mods are mods that you get from sorties, and then these are basically like random stat mods. So you can sell unruled or unveiled Riven mods, and these are basically Riven mods that don't have a weapon attached to them, like this one. So you actually have to go out of your way and do the challenge, and these usually sell for like a flat rate. I believe the shotgun ones go for it's either 70 to 80 platinum. I think it's 80, and then the rifle and melee weapons ones go for about 60 platinum at a time. So again, there's going to be links in the description below where you can check all of this, because this is all stuff just off the top of my head. So, you know, take it or leave it. But the prices of these mods are very like case by case basis, because you don't know who it is you're selling to. You don't know how much they're willing to pay, and you also don't know how much the mod is actually worth. Things like Rubico Rivens and stuff like that, just because the Riven or the weapon is the Rubico and it's attached to that said certain Riven, people will pay higher for a Rubico Riven over, let's say, like a bow Riven or whatever, or a Vectus Riven, because it makes the Rubico like more of a top tier weapon. Like, it makes the Rubico insane. So there's the Rubico, the Comb, and the, what's it called, the Scoliac. Those are free Rivens that I would pay more platinum for, because it takes those weapons from being shitty weapons to kind of like top tier weapons, implying you get the right stats, implying you get the right rules, because they do have high dispositions. So every single weapon has a disposition, and dispositions are determined by how popular a weapon is. So let's say, for example, the Atarax has a disposition of 1. This means that the Atarax Rivens that you get are going to have very low values, because the weapon's very popular, which means it's already very powerful. So, you know, Riven strength is kind of based by popularity type of thing. So the less popular a weapon is, the more powerful the Riven can be, and the more powerful the Riven can be, then the more pricey the Riven can be as well, because the better it can make the weapon type of thing. So, you know, these can change, and it's worth keeping up to date. It's worth joining Discords and stuff like that, like mine. Again, it'll be linked in the description, the official Warframe Discord, other Warframe YouTubers Discords, because they all have like trading chats in there where you can go in and you can kind of like look and see like, oh, this guy has this Riven and he's willing to sell it for this much. So, you know, you can, you know, base your buying and selling of Rivens from that. So, you know, you do you, and that's a completely different market, which I myself, I'm not personally involved in, because I don't have that big of an interest in Rivens. I just kind of focus on how people can get stable amounts of platinum. So far, corrupted mods, prime sets, unveiled Rivens, and maybe even Rivens that are of popular Riven weapons, I would say. And then there's also your Syndicates, which you can come up here and you can buy Syndicate mods. So these are Warframe augment mods. And if you buy the right ones, so let's say, for example, Death Spoil, this is a good one. This sells for about 15 platinum. You know, there's a lot here. So just knowing what the popular, basically these Syndicate augment mods are, and then selling those off for like 15 platinum at a time, steady income, easy. Like 25k standing, you can get that in no time. Implying you're working on your master rank, standing is very easy to come by, especially if you're leveling your weapons on like Hydra and Sedna or whatever. So super easy platinum. You also have the Syndicate weapons here if you want to take the plunge and sell those. Of course, it depends on the weapon, how much it sells for. These weapons right here don't really sell for a lot. This is sure Electa does, because it has like a innate credit passive where you get more credits, which is pretty cool. New Luca, like you have the Sancti Tigris. This is a very good weapon as well, but of course it's not well, it's kind of top tier, but it's not top tier, so you can sell this for like 15 to 30 platinum depending on who you're selling to, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different ways to make platinum or earn platinum in Warframe. So, you know, corrupted mods, farming up a prime set, selling it to another player, Rivens, unveiled Rivens or popular Rivens, your Syndicates, and buying stuff from Garakatir, holding on to it, and then selling it a couple of months later. Same with event mods, farming them up, holding on to them, and selling them a couple of months later. So just taking a look, watching the prices in Warframe market, and using all the other assets that I have linked in the description below will definitely help you out. Of course, make sure to stay in the loop in Warframe Discords and stuff like that to find out what people are kind of asking for. You know, supply and demand. That's basically what this is. And be competitive with your prices. You know, like if someone is offering a Riven, like let's say you want to buy a Riven for like 800 platinum. you know, be all like, hey, I see you have this Riven listed on whatever website or whatever Discord for 800 platinum. Could you maybe do 700 platinum? And then he'd be like, yo, sure. Like, you know, go ahead and join my dojo or whatever. And then you start a trade. And then next thing you know, you just got a Riven, which is worth 800 platinum for 700 platinum. And then you can make profit off that. So you have to ask. Like, if you don't ask, you don't receive. Don't push your luck. Don't be an asshole. Just be nice about it. And you know, have a conversation with people. Just be a nice guy. And, you know, you'll get places. But other than that, I guess that's kind of it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.